COP28 is one of these big climate meetings where all countries come together in order to negotiate and discuss the challenges and the solutions that have to do with climate change. The big challenges for this particular COP is that there are lots of unfinished business that were left over from last year's COP in Sharm el-Sheikh. The two big challenges mainly, one of them is to address adaptation issues, climate adaptation, and the second challenge has to do with the fund to finance loss and damages mechanisms. Why are those two challenges quite important to discuss? The first one has to do with adaptation, and of course here one of the main focus has been over the past years on mitigation, but a lot of attention has been shifting towards adaptation and the need for countries to discuss what possible solutions, what plans, what measures could be elaborated in order to address adaptation issues. One of the second challenges that has been discussed in relation to COP has to do with the North-South discussion, and in particular with the loss and damages mechanisms, which was introduced in the Warsaw Convention. We are now celebrating the 10th anniversary of these mechanisms. However, a lot of discussion has been focusing on the fund and how to finance the measures and how to finance the implementation of the fund. And here again, a lot of the debate has to do with negotiations between the North and the South, and the question on whether or not industrial countries should be the only one contributing to the fund, or whether some large southern countries such as China, for example, such as Brazil, should also be contributed to the fund more generally. There are also some minor issues that have to do with energy, for example. It is quite a contradiction in itself that this COP is being organized in one of the 10th largest oil producers at international level. However, one of the main focus on energy has to do on the one hand, focusing on renewable energies, focusing on energy efficiency in order to push forward new objectives, new measures, some more ambitious plans. But it also has to do with whether or not during this COP there will be some effort to introduce a plan to phase out from carbon fossil energy productions. And this is one of the demands that has been voiced by a number of NGOs and in some countries for the past years, that this COP may be the good moment to actually introduce this type of approach. There has been a lot of debates within our community, within students, among teachers, amongst researchers on whether or not to attend this COP at all. Because of course, as mentioned before, it is a sort of paradox that this COP is being organized in one of the largest oil-producing countries in the world, but also meaning that traveling to the COP also requires taking a plane and contributing to carbon emissions. So this has been a lot of debate among us. It was decided to attend for two main reasons. The first one is that we cannot leave the negotiations or the discussions to private companies or to public authorities only. There is a need for NGOs, for universities, for scholars to be present at COP and to contribute to the debate, either to attend as observer, either to produce their research and to collect some data for those of us who are working on COP as an object of study. But there also are a number of opportunities for researchers and for universities to highlight their possible contributions to the solutions that are being discussed at the international level. So as part of the side events and what is called the Green Zone, there are a number of opportunities for universities to organize what is called side events, to organize some discussions, some talks on specific topics of interest by bringing together some civil society actors in order to bring a new perspective, a different perspective on what could be discussed and what could be potential climate solutions. This is one of the first aspects, to make sure that the floor isn't just left to private and public authorities, but also to make sure that there is a good representation for civil society and among them from universities. The second point that was discussed, and this is something that is particularly keen to the Institute for Environmental Transformations at Sciences Po, is to make sure that all our communities are represented as part of the COP. So we made sure that there were some scholars whose work focus on the COP and climate negotiations at international level to be able to participate. This is, for example, my colleague Charlotte Halpern from the Center for International Relations, who will be working from there. We are also traveling together with partners from IDRI, which is a think tank focusing on climate negotiations at international and European level, and they will also have a good representation there. But also working with students, and for example, some students who are also part of the Young Europeans European network will be present at the COP. Others have funded an association called For Brazil, pour le Brésil. This association aims at empowering young and female leaders in the Amazon regions, and as such they're also traveling there. So there is, when we're trying through this to represent all our communities and to make sure that COP is also a place for debate, lively debates, for contradictions, for controversies, and also to showcase the work that we've been doing throughout the year at Sciences Po in order to contribute to the development of solutions and proposals on how to address climate change. Just to give you some examples about what activities we are hosting as part of COP28. One is a side event that we are hosting from Paris on the loss and damages mechanisms, on which we are working together with the law community, our colleagues from the Climatex network from Sorbonne Université, but also the law school at Sciences Po. We have a second side event that's going to be organized in the context of COP28, this time on location, in which we're working together with the Heidelberg University Hospital to focus on how to decarbonize the health sector and the health industry. We are proposing some of the solutions that we've been working together with the hospital, but also some doctors in Switzerland. We're going to showcase the work we've been doing in order to promote such change in France, but also in other countries such as Chad or the Maldives. And this particular side event is also an opportunity for people that are not traveling to COP to follow the debates online, because it will be showcased live on next Tuesday, December 5, and there will be an opportunity for everyone to follow from afar. Sciences Po.